they don't go for salary. And within the university system, no, I must place the union in proper pathway for people to understand.
Hello and welcome to the program. Now, since the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari about 2 weeks ago, all seems not to be going well between the Senate and the presidency. At least 3 events within the last 1 week suggest all may not be too well between the executive and the upper legislative house. First is that the Senate rejected the confirmation of Ibrahim Magu as substantive chairman of the EFCC. It was the second time the Senate would be rejecting him. And then there is the uniform saga involving the Controller General of Customs, Hamid Ali, who was due to meet with the Senate over the collection of duties on cars already in the country, but was sent back for not wearing the uniform of the Customs Service. Eventually, on the day the Customs boss was due to appear before the Senate again, he did not show up, saying the matter is already in court and that he was advised by the Attorney General of the Federation not to appear before the Senate since the issue was in court. This development, of course, did not go down well with senators, and they passed a resolution declaring Hamid Ali as unfit to hold public office and asked him to resign. The Senate on Wednesday also raised alarm that the attitude of some president's appointees are capable of derailing democracy with their refusal to honor legislative summons. Now, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, said it's unfortunate that the president's men are using the courts to stop the lawmakers from doing their constitutional work. In his words, it's actually a surprise that the Senate would be at it's actually a surprise now that the Senate would be at loggerheads with the presidency, considering the fact that a majority of the senators belong to the same party as the president. So what exactly is going on here? Joining me to discuss these, political analyst Emeka David, and of course, a public affairs analyst and lawyer, Fred Latimore. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Let me start with you. What exactly, this is not what you would expect from, this kind of situation where you have the APC in the majority in parliament and then the president being of the APC as well. If the reverse had been the case, say maybe the opposition party was the dominant party in parliament and then you have a president from a different political party, then we can understand. But this is difficult to understand.
Well, DEJI, it shouldn't be difficult to understand. If you remember clearly, the circumstances that led to
the election of the Senate leadership,
president, particularly the Senate president, you saw the scenario.
We all thought that had,
yes, and you knew that was, a big politics within the APC. The Tinubu caucus, Mr. President's caucus, and some other interest groups within the APC. That was why we saw that problem initially.
We thought that
now,
is...
we have dealt with all that.
All that, yeah.
But you also remember that the Senate President is also having issues of asset declaration.
That's quite true.
Which is ongoing, and his friends in the Senate also believe that the president ought to use his executive powers
to stop
what is going on at that criminal trial that is currently on. So for him and his friends, it's like, okay, if you want this party to have peace, you want amicable settlements like they are trying to do in the past, is why am I still having issues? You should use the executive power to ensure that the Senate President is free from every matter that is pending before him or against him. So if the Senate Presidency has issues that is handling criminal issues and is as a sitting president of the Senate, then of course, let's do it that way.
Well, for me, I wouldn't want to go into the issue of how the Senate functionaries emerged. I don't want to go into that, but a lot of things were not done well, but because it's historical, it's as a result of how the APC as a party emerged. All of them agreed at one point to remove the last president. That was a point of agreement. But don't forget that all of them are coming from different camps. The president today had a very strong camp. You know, the other people that came from the other camp, the Tinubu group, so they emerged on a common front. But after the winning the election, they all wanted to succeed. But then they had differences. But the president made critical mistakes. It's because he had time to actually begin to do the politics of uniting the party and also making sure if you've come with the change government, you must have a clear head of how to bring the people that will help you because it's democracy. So to say, for instance, I'm not going to get involved into who emerges as the leaders of the National Assembly was a critical error.
Critical mistake.
Very
I
powerful
agree.
political error
Yep.
that now made this guy to use his powers against the party to emerge as leader of the Senate.
So you
But
think that is what we're seeing in the Senate with regard to, for instance,
no,
the
let me come
customs?
here. It is as a result of the continued mistake. Mark that. Continued political mistake that is playing out in the presidency. Things are not, from the look of it, things are not actually well in the presidency. Why do I say so? In the case of Magu, he was indicted by another arm that is reporting
Another
to
agency of the executive.
yes, that is also directly in the presidency.
No doubt.
Just as EFCC is also in the presidency. So the DSS have brought a report before that indicted the man in question. And also in the reconvenance or for another approval, they now wrote back.
And
but
we also cannot
now
deny the
came
fact
back.
that the Senate also had an interest in that.
You see, when
but
you
of course
have
they
an
were
enemy,
of course, they were provided the gun with which to shoot.
that is the point. When you have an enemy,
No doubt.
he gives you something to hold, with which to fight. What do you do? So, but face it. I don't want to stand here or sit here today to actually join anybody that wants to denigrate or begin to blackmail the Senate. On the two issues on the front burner, I want to give it to the senators.
Okay, on the two issues, let's talk about the Magu issue. The Hamid Ali issue. You think that should have been an issue at all?
Actually, it ought not to be an issue, because the issue is that how it will trickle down to I and you on the streets of Lagos, who are driving.
You know
our
the
cars.
reason I'm asking?
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is, did the Senate just suddenly wake up, or is the Senate just realizing that this man has not been wearing the customs uniform? This man has been in that position for over a year. So how come suddenly the Senate is so particular about this guy wearing uniform?
My opinion to that is that it is possible, having watched somebody, and it now comes to your understanding. Wait a minute, is this guy? Because I want to give people, for one, I give people benefit of the doubt. Is it because I asked a retired customs officer just yesterday? I said, what is the position of a Comptroller General of the Customs? And he said, it's a post. It's like the Field Marshal in the Army. It's like the IGP in the police. But this one happens not to have risen from the ranks. It was now, kind of appointed by the president.
And it's actually not the first time it will be happening.
Yes, but go backtrack from Chijoka in the Road Safety Commission to other people who have been generals before that was appointed. Everybody wore uniforms. And so it's now like, why would he not actually wear? So is it supposed to be an issue that he will now kind of enter into a fight with the Senate? Now, what is the problem about his wearing uniform?
But let me ask, is it the one actually going into a fight with the Senate, or the Senate is just picking up an unnecessary fight in this case, when it should actually concentrate on more important things?
I think with due respect, sir, the man is fighting the Nigerian Senate, and he ought not to do that. I think that the place of the Senate should be respected.
Anyway,
what they are asking for should be done.
There are implications, but there are also implications here. But just go ahead.
Yes,
because if you ask me, it's all nonsense. If you ask me,
Section 5 of the Constitution, 1A, gives the president the powers to appoint. And conditions for that appointment are not laid down. He's just given that executive power. Then it happened before, during the Abacha era. It happened during the Babangida era. It happened during the Shagari era, where they took the Comptroller of Customs from outside the service. Yeah. But Obasanjo came to correct that issue in an official gazette in 2002. That gazette was, I think, March 24th or so, 2002, stating that the custom comptroller general, the one that is taken over from the president, one must be a deputy comptroller general, general duties. At that rank, will succeed the comptroller general. So that precedence has been maintained up to this day. Now, what President President Buhari did was exercise his executive power, which is not wrong. But don't also forget that that gazette also came about through an executive order of President Obasanjo. So the two are executive powers. So what President Buhari ought to have done is to, to acknowledge that gazette, to acknowledge that executive order issued by President Obasanjo, to say, look, our former, head of president had done this.
But he did not do it.
He did not do that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying here is that it was wrong for President Buhari not to have given recognition to that
Obasanjo.
Okay. And now that he did not give recognition to that executive order,
yes,
he appointed a man from outside of the customs, and this man has not been wearing uniform for a very long time now, and suddenly the Senate wakes up to say he has to wear.
But there is nowhere in the Constitution that says that the Comptroller General of Customs must put on uniform. And the Gazette, it's only the Gazette now that made that provision. The Gazette of 2002, that executive order by President.
That's where it says
yes,
the Comptroller General of Customs has
it must be a serving Comptroller General. That's where the uniform is now necessary. So the issue of this Ali is just a political appointment, so to speak. And because it's a political appointment, he might necessarily not.
Let's face it. I mean, let's tell ourselves the truth here. This is really not about the uniform. It goes beyond that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, don't you think so?
Yeah,
that this whole issue is really not about the uniform.
When I started by telling you, and maybe you didn't quite understand what I was saying, that in politics, the way I will react to what you did to me yesterday might be so different that you might not be able to figure it out. That the quarrel I had with you 2002, when we're in another political party, now we're not in APC. Now I am the city president or senate president. The way I will react to you, the way I will treat you now, your mind, you won't be able to picture that's exactly what I'm trying to pay you back. So the issue of what will solve the problem in the Senate, one, you have to reconcile all the APC caucus. They have about 4 caucus now in APC at the national level. Those caucus, they must come to the round table, just like PDP is doing now with Ali Modu Sharif and McCarthy. They have to reconcile themselves. After reconciling themselves, they come back to the negotiating table to now begin to apportion positions, zone, as they have been, let me say the way PDP has always done their things, zoning these powers. Then when you zone these powers, now you now leave it to the caucus, the zonal caucus, to come up with somebody that will take that position. That was not done in the issue of.
Well, honestly, I think we just need. We actually need the Senate, the
majority,
the National Assembly itself, because honestly, the Senate. It's supposed to be the most mature of the two. Yes, of the National Assembly.
And he raised an issue the other time. He was saying, okay, is it now you know that Colonel Ali is not putting uniform? It's not today.
It's not.
You have the oversight function. So why did you call him to order all this while?
When he came for confirmation, he was not wearing uniform.
At that point,
you did not ask him.
At that point, they let it go. So
you did not ask him to wear a uniform at that time. So suddenly you're asking him.
Political undertones.
Yes, I mean they all have political undertones, but the problem is that it's not what Nigerians
That's not what we
want. Not what we want.
Especially that we are paying the legislators with taxpayers'
money and paying them.
And that's why I have the opinion that it would have been mature for the comptroller to capitulate and let the policy, let the issues be discussed.
But there are also implications for that.
Like
some people will argue.
If he wears the uniform,
no, some people will say there are implications for that.
You cannot compel a retired colonel in the army to
to
go put on customs uniform.
Some people will say there are implications for that, and that he actually does not report to the Senate.
you also know that the customs is not a member of the defense family. The defense family is Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. Do you understand? And even as members of the same family, you cannot ask a retired Air Force officer to go put on a Navy uniform. He will never do it. Never. You can't expect a retired colonel in the Nigerian Army to go put on custom uniform. He's not going to do that.
For me, I don't think
He's
this.
not
I
gonna
don't
do
think this is an issue that we should even be
Yeah.
bothering
Yeah.
ourselves
He's not
over
gonna
at
do
all.
that. He's not gonna
And I
do
think the Senate should
forget
concentrate on more
Deji,
serious
what we
issues,
want,
and not this.
What we want is good customs.
That's it.
Well-organized customs. Customs that can check,
The borders.
The borders. Customs that can check,
What comes into the country.
Coming to the country. And we are generating enough income from customs to service our economy.
And it appears
that is what we need.
Yes,
we're not after uniforms.
And it appears
What-
this
what-
customs
What
work
does
is doing
putting
his
uniform got to do, with the economic recession?
Recession.
What has that got to do with hunger and poverty in the faces of Nigerians? What has that got to do with the cost of fear that need to come down in this country for people to be able to manage their lives?
And that's what you would expect the Senate to be talking about.
So
Gentlemen,
then
I want
talk
to thank
about
you.
sustenance.
I want to thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. We'll take a short break, and the program continues after the break. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DEJI360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.